what is an interview that's set up well for neurodiversity? Do you have any tips on that?
I actually do. And it's, first time I'll tell this story, actually, a funny story because it is what led me to getting diagnosed. When I moved to Seattle, I interviewed at Google for a technical program manager role. I think this is true. I believe I passed all the interviews except for I hard failed the system design interview. And what I would say is I think that the most inclusive interview process I ever experienced was at Google. I've experienced all things minus Amazon. I haven't interviewed at Amazon. And the reason I felt they had such an inclusive process is it was wildly conversational. They were incredibly good at explaining what they were asking and what they are looking for. And to me, it was a incredibly friendly process. And I would say the reason I failed the system design interview was, and this is an example of what autism will do to you in an interview. It was the first system design interview I ever had. And I spent half the time trying to understand the language that the individual was using rather than solving the problem, trying to make sure we're just on the same page with what we're saying. So I would say, I think by far the best process I've ever experienced was Google, as well as a disconnect that can often happen when recruiting individuals is the quality of the initial recruiter who is handling them. Most recruiters are used to looking at neurotypical applicants, and they essentially have mental flags that come up with certain things, certain questions or anything like that. I would say a lot of companies should ask, do I have inclusive recruiters? So if, say, for example, at Google, they had incredibly inclusive recruiters. I was recruited by a deaf individual, for example. So this person could, very clearly understand me and kind of anything that was going on. So yeah, I would say, I think there are companies that other organizations could mimic their processes. They could have a lot of success in mimicking those processes. And I would look at Google as one of probably the best that I've experienced.